Happy New Year and welcome to 2021. Well, I know we've had 2021 for a couple days, but today marks the first of 3 remote learning days that we have in our school for the entire school district. So special thanks goes out to our entire staff, teachers, support staff, administrators for making that happen. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact the school building that your child resides in to try to resolve any potential issues that may exist. You probably have seen, or if you haven't, let me be the first to tell you, that we participated in a very big study to evaluate if there was a spread of COVID in school and what would happen if kids had to quarantine. Did we see any positivity rates going from one student to another? Close contacts, we call them. So in the close contacts, we were part of a huge study, and Governor DeWine mentioned this at a press conference last week to talk specifically about schools do not need to quarantine in classrooms as long as students and teachers are wearing masks and following proper protocol. So some of you listening right now, you probably wish you had that in the very beginning of the year because we've had to quarantine several hundred students following the protocols. Now Hamilton County is suggesting the same thing. While they're going to leave it up to the schools, we know how important it is to be in school. There's preponderance of evidence to suggest or show that there's little, if any, spread of COVID in classroom settings. In fact, Dr. Fagans, who's medical director for Hamilton County Public Health, talked about in the same article that they talked to me on as well, specifically that schools are still the safest place. And so with that, because of that, we are not looking at quarantining students who may have close contact in a classroom. But again, I want you to think about this. Almost all of our classrooms have 6 foot of separation anyway, so we wouldn't have to quarantine at all. It's really critical for you to make sure that your child is still wearing their masks at bus, at school and all that. And kids have done a fantastic job, so I'm not worried about that piece as well. And the staff has been spectacular in not only enforcing that, but also demonstrating the importance of wearing masks and sanitizing. Lastly, let me just say this. There's a lot of information about vaccinations. Now, school employees are the second phase of the vaccinations. So Governor DeWine talked about he hopes within the next 2 weeks from yesterday that he hopes that schools will be able to get the doses to start. Now we have to make sure that because we're doing the Moderna, we have to have 2 doses because it's 2-dose vaccination. So you only have 28 days after receiving the first vaccination to get the second to complete the process. So as more information comes forward with that, we'll let you know. Also, if there's any information about vaccinations for students and how that may look, or any additional quarantining information, we'll make sure we put that out ASAP. And I just want to say that let's make this year, 2021, the year that we end injustices, that we end inequality, inequities, and let's come together as a country and be the country we know that was intended to be free for all, was intended to have equitable services for all. And let's make this the very best year. And of course, as always, go Vikes.